I don't think this is Lady Loki. I think Sylvie wasn't mentioning a lot of things about her,
right?
Because she was trained by a Lady Loki.
Mm.
You know
so
what I
she
mean?
just stole her costume.
Yes.
Wow.
Either the Lady Loki died, or she killed the Lady Loki, or something happened. I don't know. And then she put it on. And that's how she became Variant.
Interesting.
Hello. You're listening and watching. This is your favorite podcast, the Maximum Filipino Show, and we're doing Afterflicks. We are talking about a lot of different kinds of original shows and movies from your favorite apps, such as Disney Plus, Netflix, and Hulu. And right now we're doing Loki, and this is the third episode of Loki. I hope you guys are enjoying it the way we are enjoying it. So, yeah, this episode is really short.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer, but in a good kind of bummer.
Yeah, it is a good kind of bummer. Though, I mean, it's kind of contradicting to what I said yesterday. I just feel like it was a drag. But then again, it was good.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't feel like it was a drag because, and there you go. We're going into the podcast now. So he mentioned that when we after we watch it, he said this feels like a drag, and I said not really, cause if you think about it, it opened us up on the Sylvie or female Loki. So it's like we got to know her
pretty much
based on what she's saying. So because we don't really know if that what she's saying is true or not. So we had a lot more of her than Mobius or TVA. So it's between Loki and her. So I didn't feel like it was a drag. It was a drag because there's not a lot of action going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I just happened to rewatch it. It was more on the geographical thing that they were portraying. There was a lot of scenes of what the world they're in, what they're going through. What I don't know the word plot, not the plot. I guess they were just showing the area that they were at.
You talking about Lamentus 1?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There was a lot of that. More of that, less of them.
I see what you're saying.
But then again, I mean, I did appreciate all the views and the graphics and what the details they put into this. And I agree with you that
because at one point I didn't feel like it was a show. I feel like I was watching a movie with all the efforts that they put in it, the effects.
Right.
It felt like it was a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree. And chiming into what you said earlier, I mean, it was not a bad drag, or maybe if this is a thing, a good drag. It was because it was an intro to knowing a little bit about Sylvie, which it was good. I mean, apparently, based on what we learned about Sylvie, is that she had a more the vibe that she was giving out. She had a bad relationship or a bad experience living in Asgard versus the prince who was spoiled.
Yeah, because they had a moment where when Loki told her that because they were talking about how their powers became, like how did you know magic?
When
it was like my mom taught me all these things, and then she said, well, I found out early that I'm adopted, so I left.
It was trippy how
Yeah.
He learned later, and she said, "Oh, they told me from the get go."
Yeah. No, I don't know. Oh yeah, they told me on the get go.
I mean,
did she find out or?
Yeah, because he was tripping. It's like I learned it later, and it upset me. She was like,
yeah,
she knew from the start.
And then according to her, all the things, the things that she, and we can talk about it earlier, but the things that she knows, her magic, her ability is all self-learned. Based on what she said. I mean, we don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I thought just any gods or beings from Asgard, or how other call it, Aesir, unless they're gods. But anyway, I assume they knew
Aesir. What the heck? Where did you get Aesir?
Aesir from playing God of War. The original Aesers are referring to like Odin, Thor.
Asgardians?
In MCU they say Asgardians, but they call it Acer. But yeah, I think let's use MCU terms, Asgardians. So I assume Asgardians already knew their ability, but in her experiences, it seemed like she's learning as she goes. Yeah, but she's a great fighter. I mean, how it's portrayed, she can fight. Let's start from the beginning. Now, I think you're right. She may not know TVA because when she entered TVA, she tried using her abilities. I assume that she already knew that she can't use magic.
Yeah.
But she was shocked when she tried to control one of the soldiers, and it bounced back.
Yeah.
It backfired.
Yeah.
I mean, she kicked their asses and all, but still. So it just hit me as like, maybe bro's right. She maybe is learning as she's going, but just everything she's saying, she's just like she knew. Like she knew about TVA,
which is weird because so the thing is, she said all this plan is for years. So she's been planning all these things for years.
Yes,
but she didn't know just the mere fact of she can't use her magic in there. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of weird thing. Okay, so you've been planning this for a long time, so that only means that she never stepped foot in TVA.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, was she ever arrested? Maybe they tried to arrest her when she became a variant in different timeline,
right?
But they didn't succeed, and then that's when she's like, "Oh, I gotta do something. I gotta figure out who these people are and things like that."
So
So I don't think she stepped foot on TVA at all.
Yeah, you're right. I have to agree, but then it had to be some kind of sign that she knew where the timekeepers were, because in the opening series, in the opening episode of that series, she's asking one of the Miniman soldiers
that she captured.
She kidnapped, and she was trying to get information of where. All she got was the golden door. Any door could have been golden. Once she stepped into TVA, into the locker room, stepped out of the hallway. A few seconds later, she knew exactly where she was going. I would assume that she will still try to run her way here, run her way there, or something.
But does she though?
Maybe not. I don't know. It was too quick.
She's just finding places where to go.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, probably it was just a coincidence that wherever she teleported in was just right on the spot.
Well, she teleported in the
locker room.
Locker room, yeah, in the locker room. So it's. I think the teleportation is random, or she. I don't know. Oh, hold on. Let me take it back.
All right.
I don't think her teleportation was random because you can put it in the whatever pager or tempad. The tempad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put that information in there.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So I don't think that was random, but she ended up in that locker room.
Yeah.
So and then she started running. So I think because she's cunning, she's clever, she's smart. So I assume that if the guards are running the other way, if the guards are running this way, she will go the other way.
Yeah,
that's because there's an emergency going on.
Yes.
And yeah. So that's why she like connect all the dots and like, oh, okay, so if you're going that way, that means there's important place you came from, and I'm gonna go that way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I was low-key really ready to see who was coming, ready for who was behind that door. But of course, it's only episode 3. It's too soon to find out who the timekeepers are.
Yeah. So it's a confirmation now. Now we start from the very beginning of the show. It's a confirmation now that, because you mentioned in the second episode that her ability might be, you didn't say it as for sure, it might be transferring her conscience to someone else,
right,
while she's doing her own thing. So now it's clear that she's just controlling their deepest thoughts.
Correct.
And controlling all that. And if you have a stronger will of thought, then it won't work.
Right. Just
hence what happened to Loki.
So just so you know, we're just basing this all from the MCU movies. We haven't read the comics. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we're doing all the hot takes. That's all we're doing. That's why it didn't work on Loki, and it didn't. And she said she even mentioned that it doesn't work it doesn't work well for other people who has strong will.
Correct. Yeah, she did say that later. That's right. One of the props on her costume, it's her tiara. Is that what is it? Tiara?
Sure. The headpiece, the headband.
That.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of My Hero Academia, where there was only one horn. And
Ellie?
Yeah, Ellie. But there was someone else that had a similar situation. Indespicable Me, isn't it too? Where she thought it was a unicorn, but it was a goat.
The goat one, yeah.
That's right. It's more the goat. That's right.
Yeah.
But sorry, sidetracked on that one. Okay, so continue on after they found the door, meet up with Ravina or the R Slayer. They dipped, went to the Lamentus one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so as they overall, I mean, just summary. I think their chemistry was weird. I didn't really kind of appreciate the chemistry they were going on. They're getting too friendly, because this is the thing in my head. If they do end up getting way too along in a more intimate relationship, Loki is very, very selfish.
Why do you think that?
He really must love himself. It just happened to be a female version of her.
Okay. Now that you mentioned this, we've been watching these videos after we do our podcast. These videos and episodes about Easter eggs and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, it's not Ranker. I forgot what's the name. It's like Rockstar or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a different name. But we watching this YouTube.
So
they mentioned that it might not be a Lady Loki. It might be there's a character in the MCU named Sylvie. That's her legit name.
Okay.
It's Sylvie Lushton. And this is the interesting about Sylvie Lushton. So you can see right now, she's from Earth 616. She's blonde. She got blonde hair, right? And the interesting about her is she's from Earth, and this kind of connect all the dots and all the lines with what's going on right now. And like I said, Disney might be trolling us again, like what they did to WandaVision. But Sylvie, which her preferred name in the show Loki, right? She said, I made up my own name. Oh no, she said, I go by Sylvie now. I don't like the Loki.
No more.
And Loki said, oh, so you just make up your own name. So yeah, I did that. So Sylvie Lushton in Marvel comic books, she was trained by Loki. She doesn't have any other ability. So she learned enchantment because of Loki. And one of her ability, one of her power is transmutation. Sylvie was able to transform. No, I'm sorry. Not that. It's mental manipulation. Sylvie can plant mental suggestions and alter others' minds to meet her will and desires.
That's very
which
likely
kind of
to be
makes
her.
sense with this Sylvie. But the Sylvie in the comic books has a lot more ability.
Detailed. Okay.
Detailed ability. And one of them is telekinesis. Now, here's the thing. Telekinesis, we've never seen Loki ever done that in the whole MCU movie until now.
Exactly.
And it was a powerful telekinesis. The first time we saw it was in Alabama when he was fighting the hillbilly guy, and he grabbed the Roomba and hit him with it. You know what I mean? When they were at the mall or the grocery store, whatever that is. And then now, during that last part, when the whole planet is crushing them, the whole building fell, and then he just stopped it. I'm like, oh, okay. So
that was crazy.
His telekinesis is really powerful then. So that kind of like, so Disney showing us that Loki has this telekinesis ability, and then Sylvie has a telekinesis ability, kind of makes you think, or kind of make me think that this is not Lady Loki. This is Sylvie, or Sylvie, however you pronounce the name. So I don't think this is Lady Loki. I think Sylvie wasn't mentioning a lot of things about her.
Right.
because she was trained by a lady Loki.
Mm.
You
So
know what I
she
mean?
just stole her costume.
Yes.
Wow.
Either the lady Loki died, or she killed the lady Loki, or something happened. I don't know. And then she put it on, and that's how she became Variant.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Then, but yeah, that makes sense because she
I
said
don't
that
know,
she
like,
was
she did-
adopted.
Yeah, she might be. Yeah, that she was adopted.
Okay,
there's
I mean,
not-
there's some
there's
like
not
loopholes in those stories, or plot holes, as you say it, right? No, loopholes, right?
plot holes.
Plot holes where their story doesn't really. Okay, yeah, I see where you're going at. Interesting.
Yeah, and that's why I said I don't think the things that she's saying. I don't think all of those are true.
Okay.
So she might just be saying all these things and
Just
they're not factual.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think this might not be a lady Loki. She might be trained by a lady Loki, and she got that ability
But
from
it
her.
may not be her. That's quite
Yeah.
the take.
Yeah.
I mean, so far I'm getting the impression she is, but
Mm-hmm.
that's very likely. Only because I thought the powers are the same, and
Well,
no,
powers
green
are,
color is the same.
well,
power
yeah,
wise, no.
it makes sense if the color the same. If you are trained by another Loki, you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're right.
If you're trained by another Loki, then that transferring of ability might be mirroring it. You know what I mean? So
Interesting.
this Sylvie Lustra or something like that. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that I noticed in the show that Loki himself has done. Right. One of them is this is the first time we've heard an Asgardian song and sang by Loki
Loki himself,
or Tom Hiddleston.
something like a bard would do.
Right. Right. With a little bit of English.
Right.
And then so there are two things that I noticed that it's like a nod or an Easter egg to the MCU. One of them is, did you notice every time he falls and then he raises his head, he always like does this shaking of the hair,
Yes.
like the whip of the hair. So he did that in Endgame. Yes. No, Ragnarok. He did that in Ragnarok when they met Doctor Strange, and then when he was like falling for 30 minutes, when Thor and Doctor Strange were stalking, and then Loki disappeared, right? And he said, "I've been falling for 30 minutes." And then when he fell on the ground, he did the whip of the hair.
Right.
And then he did this twice in this show when they tossed him out of the plane, out of the train.
And he got up.
And then he did that. And then there was another one. I forgot what was the other one.
It was, I just happened to see it. He did that when the first building was falling on him. Not the second time when he uses telekinesis. I did see it this time. When he looked up, he whipped his hair.
Yeah. So that was like a nod from the MCU. But the biggest one, and I put in my notes, is when after he sang the Asgardian song, so he was drunk, right? He took the drink, and this is good, and he says another one.
That was
from
Thor.
the first Thor. That was from the first Thor when he was drinking coffee. He said another one. I think that's like an Asgardian thing. That might be an Asgardian thing.
Actually a Viking. Yeah, it's Asgardian for sure, but Viking. It's meant to show.
It's not Viking. It's barbarian. Like
barbarian.
Barbarian's attitude. You know what I mean? Because Greeks do that too in 300. Like, oh, this is good. Give me another one. You know what I mean? Like a barbaric kind of mentality.
Breaking it was more of expression of a compliment. Like it was a good thing.
Yeah, aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because we know, and based on the movies, because we don't know if that's the fact in what happened with the Vikings. Based on the movies, Vikings are aggressive. They're like they kill dragons. They have these long horns, and they
It's very
voyage.
Barbaric.
Voyage.
Yeah, voyage.
Yeah, voyage, and they're all about muscles and all that.
Well, I mean, their beliefs in Norse mythology were, if you continue to fight like a warrior, dying like a warrior,
you go to Valhalla.
Yes.
Just funny because I'm reading that in
the
Rick Riordan's book,
which I'm intrigued to read too, but I need to start from the beginning.
It's good.
But going back, so you were talking about him singing. You said there was something about singing in the whip of the hair. What, did you say something about that?
What? No, I said after he sang.
Oh, after he sang.
He drank the alcohol, or whatever he's drinking, and said another one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some say, I mean, it was an accident. Didn't really mean to read it, but I didn't read in detail that there's some thing behind the song that he sang.
There might be. I mean, when we were watching it, the subtitle, there wasn't any subtitles for it.
There were
There was subtitle for
the English.
Yeah.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There might be. I mean,
you're right.
some people who's gonna look this up deeply will explain to us what it really means. But
the only reason why I thought that was because of WandaVision. In their introduction, they had this tuning and they had the lyrics of the song. I thought something meant somewhere. But yeah. So they land on
Momentous One,
and everything they were talking about, the singing and all that, there was at the scene of the train.
Yeah.
One of the scenes I didn't get, but all I just thought they went through all that for directions. You know how they were going through town. The town was empty, and they end up meeting a lady alone in the house.
Yeah.
That scene, I thought it was a bit extra, just I guess to add time to the show. But yeah, that scene, I just thought it was extra. And I did like that line that he said, Loki, something.
Well,
about,
if you think about it, right? And I think I get it. I get why you would think that will be an extra, and I guess I get it now why you think it was a drag. It's like you could have removed this scene, you know, from all this, and it will still make sense. And we do this all the time to a lot of shows.
Right.
Like, okay, you could have just removed this scene, and everything will still make sense.
Yeah.
That scene is a comedic scene for both of them, like to reflect their so you have a Loki who's about persuasiveness and who's about, you know, trickiness, and this is why I don't think she's a Lady Loki, because she's aggressive. You know what I mean? Like she kicked the door. So it's like this scene will show you, like this whole episode is showing you the difference and similarities between the two of them.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like you have the Loki who's cunning and tricky and all about the mischievousness. You know what I mean? The mischievousness of Loki, and then the lady is more of a aggressive. Like, I'm gonna kick this door. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna get all the information, and then that's it. I'm gone. You know, this is why I don't think she's a Lady Loki.
No, that really makes sense. Because. And now that I think about the episode and comparing the two, they're very different. Yeah, one, because Loki, that we all know, he does things behind the scenes. He is very sneaky, and the word that he would use is guile. Every time I hear guile, I only think about Street Fighter. But definition of guile is sly and cunning intelligence. So it makes sense.
But the Street Fighter is Guy, not Guile.
No, we call him guile.
No, I thought it was Guy.
No, it's guile.
Oh, okay.
We'll check that later. I really thought it was guile.
I thought it was Guy. It might be Guile. I don't know.
Maybe, because, you know, one time we thought Liu Kang was Liu Kang. Well, I thought it was Liu Kang. You thought it was Liu Kang.
Yeah, it's because it's you have to pronounce it the way Asians will pronounce it.
Right.
It's Liu Kang.
So how would you pronounce Ken's supposedly brother? Ryu or Ryu?
That's in English. I don't think there's any Japanese word for.
So maybe in Japanese, if because there's no R, right? So
it's Ryu.
Oh, Ryu.
Yeah, because there's no there's Ri in Japanese, but the way it's spelled, that's RYU. In katakana, it will be a Ryu, not Ryu. Yeah.
Interesting language. You see, he's learning Japanese.
Yeah.
And I need to learn it soon.
I think that would be, but based on our teacher, this is way off the Loki, but based on our teacher, names it depends on how you would want it to be pronounced in translation and transliteration. I just figured out what's the meaning of transliteration. Transliteration in katakana. Yeah.
Cool.
So it depends on you. So if you wanna to spell it as like your name to Wakka, like WA, or to WU, you wanted to make it like Wakka or something like that. You know what I mean? Wakka. Instead of Wakka.
That sounds
it'll be
very
Wakka.
Japanese.
Yeah. But anyway, so
we're walking from the scene of that scene, and then they end up at the train station where they're
Okay, so one thing that I don't get with that scene, right? Why didn't he wear the mask fully? Why is
Yeah.
it up?
Now, even way before that one, not a single person see him use his magic. He did it right in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Where he was, they were trying to decide whose plan is going to work. She was going to go aggressive, but Loki decides to go from using his ability, but he went from this side, and you know how you do a wipe scene, changing into the uniform. But he did it right in front of everybody, and not a single person questioned it.
Yeah, that's always been a thing with a lot of TV shows, especially with MCU TV shows. There was one scene, I forgot what's that scene. It's someone was it's okay. There was another one, but I forgot what that was. But there's one that I remember now. It's the very first episode of Loki, when Loki was during the Avengers 2012 when he got the Tesseract.
Mm-hmm.
When the thing flew, there was security guards behind him, and they didn't see the freaking Tesseract flew.
Right next to him.
Like they were right there, standing right in front of him, and they didn't see it.
Yeah,
like,
that scene was
so
trippy.
it's a consistent thing that's going on in MCU.
You see a lot of it in WandaVision, where I was tripping off. Why are they showing their ability for everybody? Well, there was part of the story.
Right.
But anyway, so that was me. I was tripping off of the fact that everyone didn't trip on the magic use, and I also had the same thought as you did. Why didn't he wear the helmet or the face mask?
The face mask.
Why leave it up?
Yeah, I think Loki's anti-mask. He might be anti-mask. You never know.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Yeah. He never wore it. And then the question, and probably I thought about this when I was watching it. How come the guards never recognized him? Because not all people know
each other.
Everybody, you know what I mean?
Pretty much.
Like there's a ton of them. They probably don't know everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And then, so he goes there, has a little conversation with the guard at the door, asking for the ticket. He gets stumped on what to say. She uses her powers, which helped a lot, and they're in the train. And there goes the scene of them getting to know each other. One had a very sad life, while the prince tried to be rebellious in a lot of things. And they pass out. Apparently, they drank too much.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask. I want to figure out if this was a Lady Loki. Okay, if Sylvie or this character is really the Lady Loki, I want her to talk about their Thor. You know what I mean? Her own version of Thor, like what he or she seems like.
Yeah, they're really leaving a lot of blank about the stories. Like there's too many. They were being too abstract. They're just saying that he had a life that was a princeful life, but he just wanted to be rebellious, trying to take the throne. Versus her, she just had a hard life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, we're knowing more about Sylvie. Excuse me.
Why do you keep doing that?
I'm burping that way.
You inhale so much air when you talk?
Yeah. I don't want to on this mic.
No, you know what you're doing?
What?
You're doing this same thing when you're singing. You're having trouble breathing in the right moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You take like one breath.
All right, I'm getting better at it. Ever since you brought it up, I'm getting better. No,
I was just because it's like you're trying to make a point, and then I was like, I'm waiting. Like, okay, you gotta finish what you're trying to say.
Okay, I am trying to do that. It's just I don't want to breathe on the mic because there's one thing you keep saying, don't breathe on the mic, and then there's this. Why are you not breathing? You can't have both.
No, I didn't say don't breathe. I'm just saying that maybe I don't know. Okay,
whatever. Man, you're so picky.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
No, it's that word that you guys normally say.
Okay. Just imagine this. Imagine you're having normal Imagine you're not doing a podcast and you're having a conversation with someone like this. Hey, bro, how's it going? I'm good. How about you? How are you doing? Oh, I'm great. Where have you been? Oh, I just.
Okay, I get
You
your
get what I'm
point.
saying?
I get your point. I get your point. Fine. If you want to hear everything that I say and breathe out, I will do it on this mic. I better not hear you complain about what I do behind this mic.
That's kind of weird, you know.
Oh,
like
shut it.
just trying to like you get
So-
married. Wakka, do you love this woman and want to spend the rest of your life with this woman? And you're doing your vows. Love, I love you. For the rest of my life, I wanna be with you. And I do.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Just saying.
Whatever. Now I lost my train of thought. Where were we at?
In the train. I get it. Train of thought. In the train.
So,
Yeah.
And
then another thing that kind of makes sense to me why she might not be a lady Loki is, okay, so we know that all different Lokis there's a lot of different version of Lokis, right?
Yes.
And she has a sword. Like that to me is like, have you I guess there are some people who use a sword in Asgard. Like the Mighty Men's.
Yeah, the Mighty Men. I mean, some of them use a spear. Hell, their sister used her hair as a sword.
You can't do that because Hela makes different kinds of weapons, not just swords.
Hela.
Hela.
I think you're right. It's Hela. I thought it was Hela, or am I confused with Hera? I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So Hela.
Hela makes different kinds of weapons, not just
Yeah.
swords.
I mean, she has this
Like
ability.
giant swords.
Yeah, swords.
Yeah.
But she knows swords. She knows swords.
Yeah, well, that's one of her weapons. She uses swords. But yeah, that part kind of like, yeah, this is that every time. So when I watched that last episode, I was like, yeah, I don't really think this is the Lady Loki. So that's my take. I don't think she's the Lady Loki.
However, the sword does look like it came from Asgardian.
Now, if I'm right that she's not Lady Loki, I won't take the full responsibility for it or full credit because I was not contaminated, but I was inspired by the YouTube video. Influenced by the YouTube video. So it's not fully mine.
I happen to not watch this guy.
We always do. But anyway,
I
okay.
just missed this one.
So there are a lot of so when they got thrown out of the train, I'm guessing the downtown whatever that area is and where they were at, it was actually not that far then. Because if you think about it, the chick that was in the line, she said that the whatever ship is leaving in like what 20 minutes or something.
Oh, 5 minutes. When they hear the announcement, is that what you're saying?
No. I'm talking about when people standing on the line before they hop in the train.
Oh, she was saying that we've been here for hours.
Yeah,
Hours.
and I think she said the ship, the Ark is leaving in 20 minutes or something like that.
Who said that?
The lady, the same lady who said we've been here for hours, and she said the Ark is leaving in this some minutes. So when they hop in I remember this because I was trying not necessarily count, but I'm trying to time it from the train to where they're gonna go, and then the planet gonna crush them. Trying to make sense on how they're not gonna survive. You know what I mean? So the distance between where they got thrown out of the train to downtown is really not that far.
True. Yeah. Now before we go further on that, did it trip you, or was it just me that as the scene went on from when they woke up? Because he was wearing the uniform, right?
When she woke up?
When they both, when she woke up, he wasn't wearing the uniform.
Yeah.
When he got thrown out, he got rid of his jacket. Like, is he slowly stripping off? You remember how Loki, okay, because she was tripping, like, I thought we were trying to stay, lay low. Where's your uniform?
Yeah.
And, he was drunk. And then maybe it was just me, because little by little, he was just taking clothes off.
He only took off one clothes.
He took off his uniform. He wore his variant uniform. And then the moment he got thrown out, because he still had his jacket on.
Yeah.
Then the scene just flipped.
Yeah, because he said, you didn't get it, because he said that this is the most walk I've ever done. So he was walking. He probably got hot, so he took it off.
And
That's when he took it off and he rolled his sleeve.
Yeah, and then he rolled his sleeve. Like I said, it could be just me. Like he's showing a little bit more of his
You
stuff.
probably have a crush on Tom Hiddleston.
No.
Yeah, because he didn't take off the uniform. He just change it.
Yeah, of course I know he didn't take it off. I'm just saying that it's just little by little.
He only took one clothes.
Okay, now you're being technical. I'm just saying that his clothes.
Because you're like, okay, so he took off one clothes, and you're like, oh, he's taking off little by little. No, he only took off one.
No, but Loki though, I thought he was gonna strip all the way all the way to town.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Of course, it won't happen. It only happened in episode 1 where the machine forcefully changed his clothes.
Yeah, disintegrate her clothes.
Yeah.
Now, do you have anything else? Oh, you said when you were watching that whole scene in downtown, something didn't make sense to you.
Okay, so overall, I loved the whole camera action going on in town.
Yes, it was great.
It was awesome. It was similar to a video game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to compare it to a movie that had a similar kind of situation. I don't know if it was on first person.
No, I think it's John Wick.
John Wick?
Yeah, John Wick.
Yes,
got a ton
it's
of
a
those.
lot.
Yep.
John Wick had a ton of those. That's right.
Yep.
It was very John Wicky scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's with the guy who played the Matrix. They copied that too. I see. Because Matrix was the first one who did the slow-mo dodge of the bullets.
Yeah.
And it happened to be Keanu Reeves. John Wick, Keanu Reeves. Anyway, yeah, I loved all that. I love all the action, the camera action going in and out.
Okay.
Now, what I just didn't get is how when they just crossed the alley, it was just like a split second going across the alley and say, like, this way. Assuming that they know where they're going just to get around. They look a little lost. I was like, did we go the wrong way? But I think it was just more focused on the camera action turning around.
No, I think it's the because I saw that too when they like look confused. I think because they went that way, but they went that way and then they still saw guards, and so like now where we're gonna go? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, they decided to go in the building and then had a little talk, and then there's guards trying to attack them. This is the thing, okay? Now, if you're one of the guards, right? Let's say you're a cop, right? Mm-hmm. Say you're a cop, and this whole city is gonna explode. What would you do? Are you still gonna be working for him, or you're like, no, I gotta save myself?
I'm gonna go back into the plane.
I know, like these guards can see the other planets hitting their planet, and they still try to protect the Ark. Like, are you stupid?
That's what blew my mind. I was like, why are you still
full pun intended?
How would they continue to work while the moon is right there? So the scene where they stop and get confused, they looked up, the moon break, and they are still doing their job.
Yeah.
Now it's probably similar to the movie Greenville. I think it's Greenville, the one with 300 guy, family movie, apocalypse, planet's about to blow up. So basically, the Ark. These guys are in 2070, right? 2070, 2050, way up in the future. And they are naming this ship something that very classic, called the Ark. Almost every movie that's into an apocalyptic situation trying to save as many people as they can, they name it the Ark. I just thought something new might come up rather than just the Ark.
I mean, it's 2020 and they quoted Ark in 1980s or 1970s. What would make any difference if they call it Ark?
I just thought by then in the future they have something else called Spark or Lark or I don't know, something new, something more original than just calling the Ark.
I mean, you can come up with other names like, I don't know, like whatever their planet is. What's their planet's name? Lamentis. Okay, so that's unique. Lamentis 1.
It's a name I don't usually hear every day, but the Ark I hear every day.
My point is they can make unique and random names, but they can also use traditional names such as Ark.
Okay. I just I was expecting something better than the Ark. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, so in Greenville, or I'm comparing the movie to why the soldiers are working, basically soldiers in that movie, they're still continuing to do their job while other civilians were getting angry. It's like, why are you blocking our way? We're trying to get there. Why aren't our family not chosen to get into the special ship or whatever? And you guys are gonna go after your job is done. You guys are gonna go in there, and then later on, one of the soldiers says, "No, we're not chosen. We're just doing our job to the very end.
Yeah, I screw that. If I'm one of those guards, I'll be in that arc. You know what I mean? Like, screw this. I'm not working for you guys, and I don't care if you guys have money, because all of us in this arc, we're all gonna be equal. Like, the money that you have, your worth is
Ain't gonna mean nothing later in the future.
Like, no, not in the future. Nothing in the arc. Let's
True.
say you have $1 million suitcase. That money worth nothing in the arc.
Maybe they try to build an economic system.
Yeah, but that's just a random paper. Who's gonna back up that amount of money in a different planet? You know what I mean? Nothing's, or not just in a different planet, but in the arc itself. Like, the currency will be different, or you know what I mean?
True.
So everybody's gonna be equal.
Fair enough. Yeah, but these are
like, your money, oxygen might worth more than the piece of paper or whatever currency they have. So my point is, if I'm a guard or a soldier, I'll be like, yo, screw you guys. I don't care how much money you have. I'm gonna be in there, and I'm not fighting all these people. I'm not gonna fight them. You know what I mean? Do you have anything else?
Nah. After the cool scene, that was it.
Okay, now the biggest question is, before we end this podcast, how do you think they're gonna get away?
Well, so as we all know, or in these last 3 episodes, in the apocalypse, nothing can change. Whatever you do in the apocalypse, you cannot change unless you do something drastic of changing the apocalypse to not happening or diverting it. So I think that they're going to do something that would trigger a nexus in that apocalyptic situation and cause one of the Minutemen to go there. And they will just do what Lady Loki or Sylvie been doing. You know, snaring a trap, get them, kill them, done.
Okay, so that will be your take?
Well, that's the most obvious one in my head. Like, they had to do something drastic to change the apocalypse for the nexus to start.
My take, I have 2 takes. Okay, one take is 2-part, and then the second one is just, I'm gonna tell you the second one.
Okay.
That Sylvie has another ability that she wasn't telling Loki. You know what I mean? Now, the question of why she hasn't used it from the get-go, I don't know. But if that was to be the case, she will show her another ability. It might be teleportation, it might be time, restarting the whole thing, or something like that. But she will have another ability. Now, the second, which is the 2-part, the TVA will show up, because like what you said, Apocalypse won't change anything, won't change any nexus or anything like that. But if you think about it, there's 2 people that are not part of that apocalypse, and that's Loki and Sylvie.
True.
So if they die, they might make another nexus. You know what I mean? So they have to survive that apocalypse. That's why they're gonna send a TVA.
That's right.
To save them. Now, my the counterpart of that thing, the plot hole of that thing is, why would they do that if there's already, like, the nexus is already a mess? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Care of Sylvie. Now, the second part of that, the same idea of TVA saving them, Mobius will show up and save them. It's just Mobius will save them. That's it. Nothing else. Mobius will save them.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, if we take that, that's very close to what I was thinking. That's the only take I got. Otherwise, if she might have another ability, if this is Sylvie Luscious, I don't know what you call her last name.
The according to this website,
I just noticed she has the ability of teleportation.
Sylvie Lushton, one of her, teleportation in here, and force field too. So, one of the things that I learned about her reading this is she is part of an Avenger. So she might be an Avenger someday.
Interesting.
She might play a big role.
Very interesting.
We never know.
Oh, before we end it, it just makes a lot of sense about the people in TVA.
Oh yeah. So she said that they're all variants.
Yeah.
You stupid. He said they're all variants. I'm like, oh, so you're telling me that he said Mobius used to be a human being? Yes, they're all variants. They're all working for him. I'm like, oh, what?
And they don't know it.
They don't know it. They don't know it.
They're all variants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know how they brainwash. Well, never mind. This is TVA. I know how they brainwash.
No, the
them.
timekeepers brainwash them.
True, but that's trippy.
It makes sense now too why they all look humans and why they all speak in English.
Because they all came from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what she said. They're all from Earth. They were all taken from Earth. I'm like,
Yep. Why they all? Because
it kind of triggered in the very beginning of the episode.
Hold on, but because if they're created, there would be like a different like aliens, like in Guardians of the Galaxy where there's a combination of other like Tyrans and
it will be something similar to what the scriptures say about let's do them in our likeness, and they're apparently how Loki calls them reptiles. They're like lizards.
Well, not that. I'm talking about like that too, but I'm talking about more like a
more
like a
human
planet, but the combination of different species. You know what I mean? Yeah, but how come it's just
races.
all humans? Like from the first episode till the third episode, all
Not
the people in the Minutemen are all
right.
just
compared,
human being.
Exactly,
Yeah.
You're right. So compared to Asgardian, there's all these different beings. Oh, even Guardians of the Galaxy. Did you say Guardians of the Galaxy?
I did say Guardians of the Galaxy.
I thought you said Asgard. Anyway, yeah.
Us Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, okay, I get it. So, like he said, I'm not going to repeat it. But yeah, they're all variants.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's interesting. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you missed a lot of things, let us know. Hit that comment.
Mm-hmm.
Not hit that comment. Hit that like button and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're already
just hit it.
This part of the podcast, I don't know what you're doing, but we appreciate you still. Just subscribe and like, comment, and let us know if we miss a lot of things. You can find Wakka everywhere. Just look up.
You look me up in Facebook, Instagram, so basically almost in all social media. It's Wakka127 or FFX Wakka127. Just please let me know who you are and how you hear from me. Otherwise, if you're just a nobody that just reaches out to me, you're gonna stay a nobody. But yeah, hey.
And you guys can find me on all of social media platforms, almost all of them, I would say. Just look up the Gum Fam Show, the GAMFAM Show, and this podcast you guys can find it, the Maximum Filipino Show. Just go to Google and type the Maximum Filipino Show. You'll find our YouTube. Actually, not our YouTube. Maybe the YouTube. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. And help us reach 100 subscribers if you could. And we will totally appreciate that. Share this podcast and let your friends know if they're into MCU or they're into all these kind of things, in Filipinos or all podcasts. I think our podcast is great. So, and this is why this is your favorite podcast. And let your friends know. You guys can also email us if you want to be part of some of our episodes. Just send us an email to the maximumfilipino@gmail.com, and we will definitely schedule you. But thank you guys so much again for watching and listening. We'll see you guys later.
Late.
Bye.
Correct.